In our everyday lives, we often use the word force to describe actions like pushing or pulling. For example, when you push an object away from you or pull it towards you, you are applying force. But what exactly is force? Here we see a person pushing a cart away from them. When they apply force, the cart moves. Notice that before the force was applied, the cart was at rest. But as soon as the person pushes it, the cart starts moving. This is the effect of force. It changes the state of rest and sets the object in motion. Now let's look at another example. This time, the person is pulling the cart towards them. Again, force is being applied, but this time the force is in the opposite direction. When you pull something towards you, it's still considered force, just in the opposite direction. So, whether you push or pull, both actions involve applying force. Force is what changes the state of an object, moving it from rest to motion, or even bringing it to a stop. Now, if the cart is already moving and you want to stop it, what happens? You need to apply force in the opposite direction to bring the cart to rest. So, force doesn't just move objects, it can also stop them or change their direction. But here's something important. Force isn't just about how much force you apply. The direction of the force is equally important. In physics, we call such quantities vector quantities. These quantities have both magnitude and direction. So, when we say someone applied 10 newtons of force, the 10 newtons tells us how strong the force is, and the direction tells us which way the force was applied. Now let's talk about the types of forces. There are two main kinds: contact forces and non-contact forces. Contact forces are those that occur when two objects are in physical contact with each other. For example, if you push a box, your hands are in contact with the box, applying force. This is a contact force. Another example is tension force. If someone pulls a rope, the rope experiences tension, a force caused by stretching or pulling. Even though the rope is not directly in contact with you, the tension is still a result of the force you apply. But what about forces that don't involve physical contact? That's where non-contact forces come in. Let's take the example of a magnet. When you bring a magnet close to a metal nail, the nail is pulled without touching the magnet. Even though they aren't in direct contact, the magnet is still applying force. This is a non-contact force called magnetic force. And what about gravity? When an apple falls from a tree, it's not touching the earth directly in the sense we usually think, but gravity is pulling the apple toward the ground. Gravity is another example of a non-contact force. So to recap, contact forces occur when two objects are in direct physical contact with each other. Examples include friction, normal force, and tension. Non-contact forces act at a distance without the objects physically touching. Examples include gravity and magnetic force. Now that we understand force, its types, and how it works, we can see how essential force is in our everyday lives. Whether pushing a cart, pulling a rope, or simply letting gravity do its work, forces are everywhere. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more easy-to-understand science content.